Now our captioning process, and I talked about this at length in the previous 3Play Media webinar back in December, started out in 2011, summer 2011, just as kind of a pilot study, and had grown to a point where we were using YouTube primarily to deliver captioned videos. And that worked out well, but we had a lot of issues because in terms of scalability, we were starting to run up against people who had their own YouTube channels and whether or not we would give them the SRT files to be able to host that stuff on their own channel. We were running up against a lot of copyright issues. We started off with one channel or one account, and it got flagged, so we had to move to a second account, and that was getting flagged as well. And so then we just had a legal account, and then we had an illegal account, which is where we posted some illegal stuff that we knew we had a lot of copyright challenges around. And then we had opened up a third account. It was like, this isn't going to work. We got to figure out some a better strategy for this. And I mentioned earlier where we were talking about piggybacking on the university's transition towards newer solutions. And there were a number of other units that really wanted Kaltura, the Kaltura video management platform, here for their own reasons. We wanted it for our own reasons. It was a way for us to get everybody kind of moving in lockstep to use Kaltura. We didn't have to learn all of these different video management platforms. It would help to address a lot of copyright concerns. It would help to address last-minute requests for videos. It would streamline a lot of things for us, and the biggest thing is it allowed for scalability. We could go from all of the handoff we were doing between downloading videos from YouTube and uploading them to the vendor site and then pulling down the captions and then uploading them back to our channel. We could eliminate a lot of that handoff by having a platform which pushed all that content directly to the vendor, and then the vendor would actually put it back for us within Kaltura. So that meant one person can do a lot more work and allows us to grow that process. And so this is kind of our updated accessible media process. I'm not going to go through it. Only thing I'll say is we have a process for doing stuff in-house, and we have a process for outsourcing. Anything over 15 minutes or there's an immediate need in the classroom, we pretty much will outsource. And then if it's under 15 minutes for the most part between Courtney and the students, they can do it in-house because we kind of know the timelines that we're working off of, and we're doing a lot with compliance and slowly growing the accommodation part of things. And so this is how the numbers have grown. That pilot study, the year of the pilot study, we did about 147 videos. It grew to 337. It jumped exponentially last year to 1034. And just in this fiscal year alone so far, and we still have until, we usually count, we count May to May, although the fiscal year really goes to June, July to June. We're already at just under 1,200 videos. And so who's using that service? Over 150 faculty and staff members have taken advantage. We can recognize the top 3 schools and colleges making the requests and the reasons for requests. These are basically the choices. Compliance for DE courses are over 70% of the requests. Compliance for face-to-face, you see, is not really happening. Web compliance is very low, and disability accommodations are about 1/4 of what we do. Nice thing about knowing these numbers is that we can go and do targeted marketing. We can be much more effective in how we go and grow the service going forward.